Talk a little bit more about the specific things that the elite, as you put it, need to do to ameliorate some of this anxiety. And what's preventing it from happening so far?
Yeah, I think that if in the debate in the United States it is stressed that not only the economic hardship or the economic intensification of competition is one of the reasons for this phenomenon, but also other phenomena like the loss of national identity, like the cultural, I would say, stress which is associated with mass immigration, with also the, I would say, evolution of our societies in general. You know, the families that are dissolved in our societies. So it's a multidimensional phenomenon, and I think that you have to take all into account. If you solve, I would say, magnificently the economic problem, that doesn't mean that the loss of identity will not be a big problem too, or that the what I call the dissolution of the traditional family is not an additional element that is imposes a particular stress on our society and on the most vulnerable part of our society. So I'm absolutely convinced, again, that it is a multidimensional phenomenon that we have to understand much better. It emerges at the level of the political decisions by our democracies. It's a wake-up call, a very strong wake-up call for taking very, very seriously this phenomenon again.
And finally, we just have a few seconds left. As we undergo this period of change and stress and all the things that you described that are sort of manifesting themselves in politics, who do you see as the new winners and losers from these changes?
Well, we clearly had amongst the potential losers, even if their standard of living were nevertheless augmenting, and I trust that in this respect, we probably are under-assessing the real growth of the real economy when I look, at the consumer surplus, which is implicit in many of our new technologies, for instance. But clearly, the winners are those who are very well educated and are surfing, if I may, on the wave of technology, innovation, creativity. And the losers are clearly those who are less well educated and whose skills are progressively obsolete because of the, again, competition and of the technology advances. So we have to care particularly for those that are the losers. But again, the problem is larger, and I think that we have to reflect much more, and it is yet, we are not in the domain of economy and economists, but in the domain much more of sociologists and philosophers, if I may, this question of the national identity, the belonging to a solid identity, which perhaps in the United States, which is a land of immigration, is particularly at stake, of course, because you need a very strong sentiment of what it is to be a US citizen. I would say we have the same issue in France. We are also a land of immigration. The proportion of the French population which has parents or grandparents that are foreigners is as large as in the US. And so the idea that a French citizen has to be defined as an American citizen, as something which has nothing to do with ethnic origin or sensitivities or religion and so forth, but has to do with the sentiment that you belong to citizenship which is based upon the attachment to values and the attachment to liberty, if I may. Equality and fraternity in our case is something which is very, very important.